Day after marathon, very next day, I can go out and run 5, 6 miles.
What allows someone to keep running fast into their 70s? Is it genetics? Or is it training? Or is it something much simpler that most runners ignore for decades? Jeannie Rice is still breaking world records into her 70s, from the 1500 meters all the way to the marathon. So what has she figured out that almost everyone else misses?
To do that, I always tell friends 3 things. First of all,
Can you just briefly tell us all the records that you have broken in your life? Because I know you've broken numerous records. I actually tried to look it up, but there are so many. So if you can briefly tell us what were all the records, the world records that you have held and you still currently hold?
well, I couldn't remember everything, but I do have a many national record. I starting to break record when I was late 60s. That's a national record, American record, marathon. And then when I start 70, that's when I starting to world record, marathon
Okay.
world record and half marathon. There's some 5Ks, 10Ks. And once I got to be 75 and 79 age group, and then I have a mile, 1,500 meter, 3,000 meter, 5,000 meter, 10K, and half marathon and marathon. And some of our record, I believe, are still, my marathon record, it's been 7 years old. And
And you still hold it?
I'm still holding it 70 to 70 years and up. And it was 324 at Berlin Marathon. When I broke that record, it was already 5 years old by a German lady. Helga, her name was, I remember. I never got to meet her, but I knew her name, and the whole time was on my refrigerator. And I was cooking it every day. So I was going after. So, and I broke that. Her record was 330 something. I can't remember exact, but then I did a 327 when I was 70 years old. But then when I was 71, I broke my own record by 3 minutes, 324 at Berlin, Germany. So that's still holding it. So far, nobody ever. But it's going to happen any day, any year, I would say, because people are getting faster and faster, as you know.
And people are putting more emphasis on longevity and staying
Yes,
healthy.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so basically you hold, or you have broken literally records from, was it the 1500 all the way up
Yeah,
to the
from
marathon?
track too. Yeah.
Okay. And this was all done in your 70s.
Yes, 70s and
Okay.
75s. Yeah.
Okay. And how old are you now, if I may ask?
Oh, I am 77, and
Okay.
in a couple months, I'm not in a hurry, but I'm going to be 78. Yeah,
Okay.
middle of April, I'll be 78.
And it doesn't sound, I mean, we were just chatting a little bit before we hit record that you've got race plans all this year and you're thinking about next year. So it doesn't sound like you're slowing down at all. Do you believe your success now as a runner is more about what you're doing now or what you built in your younger years?
Well, I think when I was younger year, of course, I didn't run, and I didn't have this kind of a dream and or goal. My goal was when I was younger in junior high school, I was dreaming about going around the world, traveling, and I wanted to go around the world to see different country. But now with the running, I'm doing it both because I
Yeah.
go around the world and I
The world
travel.
majors?
Yes, travel for running. So I run races, I would say, and I race, and then I would stay at least a week or two, sometimes 3 weeks, to see the country. So yeah, this is my goal, and I don't see any slowing down yet, and only. But we all know that nobody lives forever, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
fact. So timing is getting shorter and shorter. So I'm trying to get faster and faster. I don't mean time wise,
Yeah.
traveling. I
Yeah.
travel a
Yeah.
lot more faster. Yeah. I got a full schedule this year.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, we took like 3 months before we could actually find a time to record this conversation because
Yeah.
of your racing and all that. Yeah, there seem to be a lot more runners, especially in their 60s and 70s right now than before. What do you think separates you physiologically than most other runners that allows you to keep breaking records, not only in the marathon but in shorter distances? Because the demands are a bit different, right? Between running a
Mhm.
marathon and a 1500, but you have broken records across all this spectrum. So what do you think is it about you physiologically that makes you different?
I don't think I am much different than others, but some people run shorter distance. They train different. They run less mileage and they do intense training. But the marathon runners, most people just run marathon, not shorter distance. They do a longer distance and slower mileage. I like all. I like all. I mix together. I never thought I can do track. I never thought I was fast enough to do short distance. But I just tried a few years ago, and then I won all this whatever I enter. So I'm thinking back and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I can do it all. So now I train for pretty much for marathon. I do a lot of mileage. I
Okay.
still run 50 to 70 miles a week,
Okay.
and I do a lot of 20 milers when I'm ready for marathon. But I don't do track as much, but I do try to do speed workout once a week so I can keep that. I'm just competitive my own way. I'm not
Yeah.
compete with the so and so, but I'm competing myself,
Yeah.
and I love competition. So therefore, I still race a lot. I mean, that's why I go so many places. I mean, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to New York City, a half marathon. I used to travel just for marathon. I mean, it's a few years ago back. I mean, I'm talking about distance, like when I go to out of country, like London, Iceland, and Paris. I only did that for marathons, but
Okay.
now I do for half marathon or even
Okay.
track. So,
Okay.
like I
Yeah.
said, I don't have a whole lot of time.
So you're racing as
Not
much.
a lot of years left.
But the way you're going, I think you still have quite a bit of time.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
As you get a bit older, now you're in your late 70s, what do you think changed the most for you? Is it endurance, speed, your recovery, your durability?
Well, I think first of all, I think I don't see myself and my speed slowly slowing down. Even I
Okay.
work as hard as I do, as same as I do. If I see that 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and my 5K time was 18 minutes. Now it's 22 minutes. It's a natural, I think. Naturally, everybody slowing down is aged, but we still what that's what I love that they call that age graded time. They do
Okay,
age
yeah.
graded sometimes to the percentage, and I like that because we all everybody it's a mother nature thing. We all slowing down at the pace wise, but the age graded I'm still 100%. So that means that
Okay.
I'm doing best I can my
Okay.
ability. And
Okay.
to do that, I always tell friends three things, three D's: dedication, discipline, and determination.
Oh yeah,
Will
so
get
well
you
said.
there
Wow.
wherever you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. What about VO2 max? Do you measure your VO2 max? Do you see a decline year over year?
Well, they did test me in the UK.
Okay.
This is a couple of years ago. I ran London Marathon, and there's a lot of young physiologists in UK. Since I was coming there, they asked me if they would test me. They like to
Okay.
examine me, because I was running just
Okay, you broke all the
better,
records.
yeah, faster than most age. So they said my VO2 max is the highest ever they seen. My
Really?
age, yeah. But
Okay.
I don't know. I don't do anything for to get that. It's just a natural thing, I guess. So
I
my
think
VO
everything adds up to it, right? All your training kind of helps
Yes, I'm sure
maintain.
it all
Yeah.
helps. And, we all try to eat healthy food,
Mm.
and we try to, I mean, sleep is very important. You try to sleep, some certain amount of, time every night. And, we exercise and And another thing is, as we get older, you're much younger. I mean, you got, it's different. As we get older, I think the social life is very important too.
Yeah.
I mean, I hang around with the young people and I run with the young people, younger people. I'm not saying very young,
Yeah.
but 50 years old, 60 years old. And I train with them and I get together with them. And I think you mind get, still stay young. And that's very important to stay young overall.
Do you remember the exact number of your VO2 max when you got tested in London?
Yes. Um, in When you wear a Garmin watch,
Yeah.
I do measure I mean, not measure, looking at it every day.
Yeah.
It shows 58, but
Okay.
that is not um,
Accurate.
exact. That's not
Yeah.
right. When they did that, it was 48.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 48.
But
That's the
that's
real thing.
very
Yeah.
impressive for were you like mid 70s then, right? If
Yeah,
it was a
that's
few
what they
years
were
ago.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what they said. It's just the highest they ever seen.
Ever tested? Okay.
Yeah,
For
I
someone.
didn't know that. I have no idea. It should be 38 or 58. I didn't know that until
They told
they.
you.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Could you walk us through what your typical training week looks like? I appreciate that if you are in a marathon build, it's going to be a bit different than in the off season. But if you can just kind of give us an example of what a normal week would look like for you, if it's not a marathon build, and if you're building towards a marathon, what's your peak training like?
My just average run every day. I mean every week. It's 50 miles a week,
Okay.
week after week after all year round, 12 months.
Okay.
50 miles a week. I divided. This morning I ran just 10K. And maybe Sunday I will do 13 mile. So overall I recorded weekly 50 miles.
And
That's
that's the
it.
minimum, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
50 miles up to 70 miles when I have a marathon coming up, and I throw 20 miler. We call
Okay.
that 20 miler, but I do 22, 23, up to
Yeah.
24. I do that every 2 weeks, or every 2, 3 weeks. If I have a marathon coming up, let's say 3 months ahead, and I'll do that. So those week when I do 20 miler, and it'll go up to 70 miles.
Okay, so when you're building towards a marathon, that's when you start throwing your 20 milers and that's when your mileage increases.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Other than that, it's just even I don't have any race, I run
it's 50.
50
Yeah,
miles a week. Yeah, at least.
okay.
Like last time, one week was 76 miles. I said, oops, I better cut down. It's people trying to race. I'm trying to cut down. I didn't realize, oh my gosh, 76 miles. It's a little bit too high for an old lady. Yeah. So I have a hard time cutting down.
You have a hard
People,
time cutting down.
yeah,
Okay.
because I can, you know, Jasmine, I can't go out. I could go out just run. I don't know what it is about. Is it runner's high? People call me. Do you have a runner's high? I said, I don't know what they mean, and I just
Yeah,
enjoy it. I guess that's what it is. And I
yeah.
don't wear, music or earphone at all. When I go out, a lot of times I run with the people, run with the friends. We talk. We learn so much about each other. And when I run by myself, my mind's always busy thinking about
Yeah,
something, which what I did, what I should be doing it, what's a shopping list, or which race should I do, which country I want to go. So my mind is constantly busy, and then I enjoy the, nature.
yeah.
Wherever I run, if I run city, I look around and while I'm running. So I never bored running. I just enjoy running.
What about high intensity work? Do you incorporate that into your weekly training? How does your high intensity session look like? What does it look like?
I don't do as hard as I used to be when I was younger. I go to track, and then I'll do
Okay.
just quarters and half miles and um, 800 meters, real all out. But now I don't go to track. I do Monday mornings. We have a group of people. We do, we increment each week. First week we'll do 100 meters soccer field. We go all out and come back
Okay.
all out and come back. That's what first week. Following week, 200 meter. And then third week we do 400, and we increase up to 2 mile. So last week we do 2 mile like a race pace, and then we
Okay.
go back to 100 meter. I think that helps me for track when I do track uh, race, because I do 100 meter, 200 meter. Because a marathon really, I don't think it's necessary if I'm going to just
Yeah.
do marathon. But
Correct. Yeah.
because I'm doing track as well, and sometimes I do go, competition like track meet. So I think those help. That's Mondays, and then Tuesdays you left. We don't have there's no here. It's a flat here, Florida. Flat is
Okay.
there's absolutely no hill. Hill,
Okay.
hill training is what little bridge. We have a little bridge.
Okay. Okay.
Very little. So, but that's better than nothing. So I
Yeah.
do go repeat those. After
Okay.
I run and I go over the hill and over the bridge couple, I mean, I would say 8 times. So that's
Okay.
better than nothing. But in Ohio, we do a lot of hill training when I go to
Okay.
summertime. But winter here is just as flat as a pancake, and neighbor is
Okay.
Tuesday I do that, and Thursday I call that temple run.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
warm up 2 miles, and we have a 6 mile loop with a group, so we go a little bit faster. We got the tempo
Okay.
run. And weekends I do long run, Saturday or Sunday. Normally Saturday, what we call long run is a 13, 15, 18, and then when I do
Okay.
marathon I do
The
22.
20 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my all year round schedule.
You said just now that when you were younger, you were doing more speed work. Can you define what you mean by younger? Was
Oh,
were you talking about your 30s,
yeah,
your
no,
50s?
it's funny. That's it. I started to run 35. I didn't
When you were
even walk.
35, you started
I
to
was
run.
age
Okay.
35. Yeah. So
Okay.
younger means late 30s and 40s for me,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Just
20s.
wanted to,
Oh,
because some
no,
people might say when I was younger, it might be college or, high
that's
school.
right.
So
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
wanted to.
So, yeah, it's
So
funny
you've been
how
running for about 40 years now.
43. This is my
43 years.
43rd year. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And 137 marathon.
137 marathons.
Yeah,
Okay. And that's
150.
just marathons, right? That's not counting
It's
half
just
marathons.
marathon. Half marathon, probably 300 of. I don't count half marathon, but
Okay.
I do count marathon because yeah, marathon is the
Yeah.
easiest count. And I probably overall I did way over 1,000 races.
Okay.
Including 5K, 10K, 5 mile,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
10
All the
mile,
track
all that.
events.
All
Okay.
events over 1,000. Yeah.
In this 43 years that you've been running, how has your recovery changed as you progress decade into over decade? Is it more challenging to recover from hard workouts?
Oh, you know what? You probably don't want to believe it, but I recover real, real fast. Day after marathon, maybe I don't know how to run all out. I said it to my friends. Maybe I don't know. Oh, I can only do so much, maybe. Very next day, I can go out and run 5, 6 mile, which I do that. I normally do that,
Wow.
not hard, but every time I go to marathon or half marathon, next day, and I go out for easy few miles. That helps me recover faster, I think.
Okay.
I've been doing this all these years. I never
Okay.
take a week
Okay.
off, 2 weeks. I know some friends, a friend of mine, they have a coach. Some will take a week off, or some will take at least a few days off. Nothing wrong with that. It works for them, but it works for me. I just have to go out next day, just easy miles.
Recovery run kind of.
Yes, recovery
Yeah.
run, what we
Okay.
call, and I recover faster.
Okay. Okay.
Very, very easy for me recovering.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. And even after your tempo runs and all that.
Yeah, my body don't know how to run any faster, but how to run my pace or every day. Yeah, I never had a real speed. No, I don't think I ever had a real speed.
I mean, that's what you say, but you hold records for the 5K,
Only,
3K,
yeah, but that's for old age. older age.
Yeah, 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 but you still hold the world record. It's still, I mean, it's and what was your world record for the marathon? 3:24, was it?
The world record is when I was 71 and 324.
That's
Yeah,
very, very impressive.
yeah. I'm still trying to. I don't think I can do 324. I'm still trying to run 330. With 75 years old record is 333. I have it in London.
Oh, you
And
have that too.
yeah, I have that too. Yeah.
Okay,
But I'm trying to break my own record. Uh, I may not do it, but I haven't
okay,
given up. So
okay.
that's, yeah, I
So
like to
you
do
hold
three.
the 70 years record and the 75 record.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, okay. You're unbeatable.
Yeah. Well, and once I'm
Wow.
80, I would like to. I mean, I hope I can continue to run.
What's the
Well,
record for 80 at the moment?
for something,
Okay,
4 hour and 12 or something like that.
okay,
I don't know if I can stay healthy, if I can still run. I'm almost 78. I'm still looking for 330. We'll see.
okay.
Yeah,
How
330.
about your tendons, your joints? Are they holding up fine with the
Well, they're
mileage that you run?
they're all good.
Okay.
Several years ago, about 10 years ago, so I was in my 60s, late, not quite 10. Maybe I was close to 70. I fell during the run, so I had to go to doctor. My knee, because I had a stress fracture. I hit
Oh,
cement really bad
okay,
doing the running
okay,
and fell during the. So anyway, I had an X-ray and it had a stress fracture, but it healed. But my doctor told me at the time, my orthopedics, the doctor said, your knee look like a teenager. That's all I wanted
really?
to hear at the time. So, I mean, he was joking, I'm sure, but he said,
Yeah.
I have real healthy knees. So it's good to hear that. So my joints are fine, and once in a while, you hurt, you step over something, and yeah, I've had some sprained ankles from running and step in the hole, and I had those little injury, but I
Okay.
never had a what they call runners. They get really
Knee or
suffer
something.
with the knee, suffer
Yeah.
with hamstrings. No, I never had it. Knock on wood. So far, so good.
Okay. Okay. So
Mm,
you're not injury prone.
no, no, I haven't really had an injury. From
Okay.
falling, yes, I did
Yeah,
three
yeah,
falls.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
But not from running the
no,
mileage that you
uh-uh,
run. Okay.
no.
Okay. Well,
So
that's
far, so
impressive.
good. So
So
we'll
far, so
see.
good. Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
hope it'll last few more years.
How disciplined are you about your sleep, your nutrition, your stress management?
Very good at.
Okay. Tell,
Mm.
tell, tell me about it. What's your sleep
Well,
strategy like, you know?
well, my friends laugh because I have a lot of non-runner friend as well because I'm very social, and they would say, well, they want to go out to dinner. This is how I'm very strict for myself. I'm a little selfish sometimes. They want to go out 6:30 or 7 for dinner, and no, I have to go out at 5 because I,
Okay.
I like to eat early and I like to go to bed early. So by the
Okay.
time we go out 6:37 and you don't eat till 7:38 and come home and you can't go to bed till 10, but I like to be in bed by 9 every night. Unless it's special, if it's a wedding or birthday party, those are special. Normally, my average day, I like to go to certain time because I get up early. I may not sleep 7, 8 hours, but I like to be in bed resting at least 8 hours. That's just my own way. I'm selfish about that.
So whether you are actually able to sleep all the 8 hours, you just stay in bed to rest.
A lot of time I do sleep 7 hours,
Okay.
hmm
Okay. Okay.
or sometimes
Eh,
8. Yeah, the
okay.
day I don't run, I don't have to get up at 4:30. I usually get up at 4:30, between 4:30 5 o'clock,
Okay.
and I'm out the door,
Okay.
little after 5. But today I don't run. I can sleep another maybe half hour or an hour because,
Okay.
but I'm so used to it, and I still wake up in the
Yeah.
morning soon time.
And I'm
So,
guessing 7 days a week, this is your schedule
oh
for
yeah,
sleeping and waking. It
mm-hmm.
doesn't matter whether it's the weekend or the weekday.
Yeah,
It's just the
it's
same.
pretty much every day. But there's always special. somebody's birthday party and
Yeah,
weddings,
of
and
course,
of
yeah.
course those are very special.
You make
Yeah,
that
I do
assumption.
social life as well. So I don't. But if a normal day people want to go out to dinner, well, they know it's, oh well, we want Jeannie to go, and then they have to make it move up early. I'm willing, but I can't. I'm pretty selfish about that part. I think
Yeah,
people know
yeah.
that, and they got used to it. All my friends got used to it.
For sure, yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. And what about your nutrition?
Nutrition. I pretty much eat healthy food, what we call healthy food. I don't eat any fattening food. I
Okay,
don't like any
okay,
fried food.
okay,
And I do like a lot of fish. I prefer
okay,
fish. I do eat meat, but not very often. I do eat red
okay,
meat. It's not that I don't eat, but I prefer like a seafood and fish. And I do eat a lot of rice. I
okay,
eat more rice than pasta. But I do like
okay.
pasta. But if I choose, I grew up with the rice. So
Mm-hmm.
rice is very, must.
Okay,
And then I do eat a lot of vegetable and fruit, and I don't eat sweets at hardly ever. Once in a while,
okay,
maybe birthday, cake, maybe just taste.
okay,
But I
yeah.
don't eat sweet stuff.
What about when you're racing? What's your
Oh,
nutrition like?
when I race 5K or 10K, it's just normal food I eat. But when I do a marathon, 3 weeks prior to that, I try to carb load it. So I would eat pasta or rice, and then try not to, even eat a lot of food like a, salad. And I mean, I would vegetable, but yeah, I do, careful about before the marathon.
Okay.
The
What
three
about
days.
during the race itself? Are you filling with gels or how
Yes.
how?
You-
Okay.
See, Jasmine, years ago, we didn't have all that. We
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
had gel. I mean, I'm talking about 40 years ago. But
Yeah.
we got through it, right?
Yep.
Today, yes, I got used to gel. So I do take glue. To me, it just, my stomach takes pretty well. So I do take 3 glue when I go to marathon. I know some take 5 or 6, but 3 is my maximum. And then I make sure I eat night before, loaded up the
Okay.
carb, and then I drink a lots of water, of course, even every day, not just because race or training. It's just normal. I can walk out without bottled water. I always walk around with the water. I drink lots of water.
Do you ever do your morning runs in a faster state than like without eating, or do you always have a small snack before you go out?
I have a bad habit. Every morning I drink coffee.
Okay.
So first thing I get up, I make a
Hmm.
coffee. So to have a coffee, I don't. I can run. I can eat and run. So to drink coffee, I have a half piece of toast. So I drink coffee with that. So I just want
Okay.
to make sure my empty stomach. I don't want to just drink coffee. So I have
Okay.
half piece of toast. Of
With the
course, if
coffee.
I'm gonna run a marathon, I would eat full piece of toast with the peanut butter and
Okay.
sometimes a banana on it, cut
Okay.
banana. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my meal.
Okay.
I used to have a oatmeal too, but when you go to traveling, it's hard to get oatmeal in the hotel room. So I
Yeah.
just take a peanut butter and a banana. So I would have a piece of bread, a tablespoon of peanut butter, and then banana. That's my before the marathon.
So you kind of bring your own breakfast for the day
Yes,
of the marathon. Okay. So you
yes,
don't leave it up to chance.
no,
Yeah, yeah, I do the same. If I travel for a marathon, I always the day before I have all my own food packed and
yeah,
all the
right.
food
Prepare.
before the marathon.
Uh-huh.
And after the race, then it's fine. I can go to a
Right.
restaurant and yeah, it
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
sure. We eat whatever, right?
Correct.
But
But before that, it's like nope. It's
yeah,
you
yeah.
try and keep it
Uh-huh.
uh, as strict as possible, right?
And then you can have a beer. I'm not a beer drinker, but I know a lot of runners love beer, and But I would have a glass of wine instead of beer after the
Yeah,
run.
I'm exactly like you. You know, after the dinner after the run is a glass of wine, and
Sure. Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many marathon have you done, Jasmine?
Oh, nowhere close to yours. Four. Wait, 4 or 5. Yeah,
Yeah, but you're young.
as in I raced it, not running for. You know, sometimes when I'm like I've done a couple of ultras, and when I'm training for the ultra, I run like 50 kilometers. So
Uh-huh.
I do run some marathon distance in my training, but going for a race,
Mhm.
4 or 5. I'm 48 in a couple
Oh
of
my
months, so
gosh, you look like a 25. Really? Is that right? Yeah.
I'm trying to follow in your footsteps. You know,
Oh,
that's why I'm having you in on this conversation to try and
oh, thank
learn
you.
for
You got a
you.
lot of years ahead. Many, many years. Yeah, that's wonderful.
So on that note, I'm 48. I'm turning 50 soon, and you are turning 40,
80.
78.
I'll
So
be 80, you'll be
well, yeah.
50.
So basically, I'll be 48 this year, and you'll be
Okay?
78. So you're 30 years older than I
Yes.
am. Right.
Yes.
So if someone in my position in their late 40s, early 50s, who wants to be competitive like you in their 70s, what do you think they should prioritize now so that they can be even considering chasing a world record at your age?
Well, number one, stay healthy is of
Mm,
course, number one. Stay healthy, stay injury free. Because a lot of people running so well and then get injured and
yeah.
then they sit back again and then try to back again so hard and then get better and then injure again. I've seen so many friends surrounding me and they get so, they get better and faster and then injure and then,
Hmm.
and then set back again. So
Yeah.
try to listen to your body. I am really good at that. If something little doesn't feel right, like on my back of my knee was aggravating me last week, I took right away a few days off. I mean,
Okay.
it didn't hurt. I could run, but you just have to pay attention and then you can
Okay.
always make up those mileage. For a few days off, it's not going to hurt. But
Yeah.
then it kept aggravating that whatever it bothers, it can cost 2 months. So, that's what first thing. And stay healthy and stay injury free. And you got to have the mind, that. You got to have a set the goal. I always have a goal doesn't have to be certain you got to beat somebody or you got to win something, your own goal, whatever
Yeah.
your goal is.
It sounds like you take a more restraining approach
Mhm.
to stay injury free. Is that correct? Am I?
Yes.
So, do you think um, longevity in running is more about restraint than actually pushing harder?
Well, longevity can be a lot of, yes, that's a part of it, but
Okay.
you just have to, we talk about the nutrition is important. You
Yeah.
know that. And then of course the exercise, we all run or we talk about running, so we do exercise and you eat well and you exercise and then you just keep, eyes on your, everything, your body. If something hurts and you got to pay attention. And of course sleep is not another thing too, because sleep
Mm,
is so important, the resting. So it's all put together, and I think their longevity is that's what it is. So look at how many people are living a lot longer today. I think
yeah.
because we have a better nutrition and we
Yeah.
do exercise more overall. When my mom and our grandma, when it was 50, 60, they didn't do what we do today.
Yeah.
So we are living longer and longer.
Yeah. That's true.
And then
Can it?
running faster and faster. There's a glue,
Yeah.
there's a shoes, and I don't know shoes gonna make you run faster, but certainly help.
Yeah.
Years
Yeah.
ago we didn't have a good, running shoes, but we
Correct.
still do pretty good. But today, every little thing there's out there.
Can we just go back a little bit about you being injury free?
Mhm.
Um, do you actually think that as you progress as a runner, as you have more miles under your belt, as you train consistently, you become more durable and you become less prone to getting injured. Do you feel that?
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
do. Mm-hmm.
So as you get stronger, you
Mm-hmm.
become more robust and the
Mm-hmm.
chances of injury becomes less.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Definitely. I feel
So
that way.
do you think that your friends that are getting injured and being set back, could it be that they train for a period and then they back off their training and then when they start again they push too fast, too much?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
That's fine. That's okay because they don't have to race all the time. So they only pick one and they go after that. And then after they, they slow down and will back off. But me, I race a lot. I used to race Saturday, Sunday, and back to back. But my body got used to it,
The body adapts, right?
adapted to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the consistency of running year round at 50
Hmm.
miles is probably what builds that durability and you
Hmm.
don't get injured because of that.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
a big part of it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
noticed that myself as well. In the first year that I started running, I was always injured. But
Hmm.
now I'm running, well, in kilometers, about 70 miles, 60, 70 miles on average, most weeks of the year.
Hmm.
I don't seem to be getting injured and
Hmm. Yeah.
like I used to be when I was running a bit
Yeah.
less when I started running.
Yeah.
The first 18 months was like every 2 months I was injured.
Yeah.
Recover from one injury, another injury comes, right?
Yeah, your body, your muscles got, have a memory, so they're used to it. That's a big
Yeah,
part of it. Yes.
yeah. I also
Mm.
noticed that yeah, the muscles get stronger and
Yep.
it prevents the small niggles from happening and
Hmm.
you deal
That's
with
correct.
the pounding a lot better.
I know people, some people tell me that, oh, you look so easy, No, it isn't. It's a hard work too. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
I don't work hard all the time, but if I'm going to race, I mean, you can't not run for a week and then try to go run the race the way you want. So it's hard work goes with all that. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a discipline. Yeah. Discipline is always, like dedication and,
Discipline
right, discipline. Yeah. Uh-huh.
and
Mm-hmm.
determination, right? Was that
Yep,
your last D?
definitely determination. Yeah, you have to have that. You
Yeah,
want
yeah.
your own way. I mean,
Correct.
like I said, I will never be, ever be. I don't know if I was much younger, maybe I would have run faster. Maybe we don't know. That's
Yeah.
past, so I don't
Yeah.
worry about that. I worry about now on. What's next
Correct.
year? What's next? When I'm 80 and I still have that goal. I may not make it, but I want to make it, and that's my goal. I'm going to stay healthy and then keep on going. So it's when I run, just many times when I run marathon, any race, some younger people come up to me, Jeannie Rice, oh, you are my inspiration. That makes me just. I always tell them, you just made my day. That's what I want to hear. They don't know me. They don't know who
Yeah.
Jeannie Rice is, but they know there's an old lady, old
Yeah.
girl out there keep still pounding. So they
Yeah.
say that I want to be like you. I mean, what else can I ask to hear that? I mean, that's
Yeah.
just every time I hear that, you just made my day, and I love that.
I think I mentioned this to you when I first messaged you that it was the viewers of my podcast that have actually requested for you to come on the show.
Mm-hmm.
They want to hear about your training and how you are breaking all these records in your 70s and do what you do right now. That is honestly very, very, very inspiring.
It's
Yeah, you.
nothing really big special, it's not that I do special, it's just everyday living. And it became my, daily. It just got used
Your
to it.
routine.
That's a
Yeah,
routine, everyday routine. It's daily. Running is part of my life. Let's put it that way.
yeah,
Big part of my life. You know how many people, dear friends I met through the running. And of
yeah,
course, I have my own, old friends from work together, neighbors. They're all friends. I
yeah,
met so many wonderful, became a good friend from running. I met
yeah.
through running. It's a wonderful
The
because we all have the
the same
same.
shared passion, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes, we share same, our what we like to do, what we do, and
Mm,
it just became a good friend. Every time I
yeah.
go anywhere, I went to um, Australia in August, run Sydney Marathon. I had a whole group of people. They've been following me, and then I've been contact some of them. So
Mm,
we ran together. They made a little event the day before the race, and it was wonderful. I mean, I've been just contact through the, email or whatever. But
social
then we
media. Yeah.
actually met face to face and ran together, and it was wonderful.
I can
I
imagine.
really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. When I went to Thailand, it was the same thing.
You're an icon.
Thank you.
Yeah. So clearly, you are very motivated. You have the discipline, the determination, um, and you have the training in place. How much of your performance do you attribute to genetics?
Oh, genetic. Well, I think genetic, it has to be part of it. I
Yeah.
don't know because my family, they are all decent, healthy, they in decent shape. One of my brother has a, taekwondo 8th degree black belt. So he
Wow.
was, yeah, he was very disciplined boy too, my younger brother. But I don't see so much. I mean, I'm sure there's a part of it. I don't know how much genetic is involved in me. I think 50%, of course, you have to be healthy,
Mm,
born, and 50, a lot of, when we grew up was very disciplined. My dad was,
yeah.
as you know, the Asian people are
Yeah.
so disciplined. So that maybe all together help me, but physically is your own. Physical, you have to train. I have a sister's love to run, but it's not for her. She do 2 miles. Is how do you do this? How can you do it? I said, well, you gotta train. But she doesn't. She does other things. So she golfs and wonderful, but she doesn't have any mentality for running. So it's okay. Everybody's different. But the runners, as we runners, we all have a same mentality, I think, because the running helps clear your mind, and you set the goal and you train, and I think that's we have a drive. So genetic, yes, part of it, but I think it's on your own. You got to build
Yeah.
up with all that.
You've inspired a lot of runners, I believe. But do you think that a lot of runners also underestimate how much performance they can achieve as they age?
I think age is just a number. I mean,
Okay.
I said that. They said, how do you do that at your age? I said, what age? I really literally forget how old I am. When I used to think that, oh my gosh, 70 years old, that's old. That's a grandma. That's a great grandma. But I forget how old I am. But when you look at the number 77, that is old. That's a lot of number there. I don't feel that way. I
Yeah, I think that's
absolutely
the most
don't.
important.
I don't know how that time went so fast. And I kind of estimate my mileage I put it into over the years, even though I didn't
Hmm.
start late. A lot of young people they were in their teenage, or they ran for high school and college. And I didn't start till 35. But I ran around the world 4 times. Around the world,
Your mileage, yeah,
yeah, around the world 4 times. About
yeah.
100, over 100,000 miles I have in my life. That's how
Wow,
many miles I have.
that's so impressive.
You can get there because you're young. You got a lot of years. You got 30 years. Yeah.
Apart from breaking world records, what else do you define as success in your running career?
That's all those six major I did. Or seven major,
Okay,
not just seven because
with Sydney,
Sydney.
right?
Yeah.
So you've done Sydney, right? Yeah, because
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I just,
okay,
yeah. In my age division, I beat all the men time.
really,
Yeah. So
okay,
that was, to me, that was exciting. And I
yeah,
tell my younger male friends, I said, "What's wrong with you guys?"
Come on,
Nothing
keep
wrong with
up.
you. Nothing wrong with you guys. But when they get older, I think I'm not any different. I'm not special at all.
Hmm.
But I think when we get age up, I think men slow down more than women.
Women,
That's the only
okay.
way I'm better. I'm not better. That's the only way I am faster than men. All
Mm,
those marathon, I beat all the men division. And
okay.
in Boston, a good friend of mine, Amby Burford, you probably heard of him because
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he
He's
was a writer and he was also won Boston Marathon years ago.
correct.
Yeah, he pointed out a couple years ago when I was 75, I ran Boston Marathon 3:33. He looked it up. 135 years, there was 135th marathon in Boston. No one, man and woman, ran that time. So I have a record there, course record.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I,
Wow.
I wouldn't have known. So he checked and he
Yeah.
emailed me, and that was exciting. I said, "Oh, good." So will break it. I know that someone will, but not that until 135 years. And I was the fastest time for
Mm.
75 and up, either woman and man.
How does it feel when you're racing with people 30, 40 years younger than you? You know, when you toe the line of a marathon or a half
Mhm.
marathon, right? Okay, if you're running the world championships, you are running just in your age group. But when you go to a marathon major or any marathon, you're running with
That's
people that
right.
are 20, 25, 30. How does it feel when you are running beside them and you are an hour faster than 50% of them, maybe? How does it
Yeah,
feel to you?
sometimes, but when I pass young people, I feel good. And then
Hmm.
when young people pass me, they look like 20, 30, 40 years old. I say, well, that's okay. They can go faster. But then you laugh. Then, that, it's kind of fun. And as long
Yeah.
as old people don't pass me, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love to run with the
Oh.
young people, and I love to sometimes I talk and I'm not that serious. I am
Mm.
serious in my own way, but I'm not an elite runner, and I'm not a pro runner, and I'm just amateur runner. And so when someone come up to me, they've seen this happen. Can I take picture? She had. I said, of course. So I'm still running. I don't stop. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
keep running, and then she just have a selfie picture. I mean, I'm
With you,
happy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you don't.
Yeah.
You can't do that to elite runners.
Yeah, of course, because they have to race, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, I have fun too. I enjoy, I enjoy
yeah,
running with the people, young people, old people, but not
yeah.
too old. Not too many old people will pass me. No, that's
I
not
don't
going
think
to happen. Not
it's
for
not
a
gonna happen.
while.
Not for exactly.
Yeah, that's my plan anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, do you have any sponsors? I mean, I know you're not elite or you're not pro, but do you have sponsors that sponsor something, whether you're
No,
racer, some gear? Not at all.
mm, I get that question all the time. No, I don't have a sponsors. And there's a lot of people say, how come you don't have sponsors? I try to explain to them why.
Okay.
Sponsors, I think, or Nike or Saucony, whatever, those sponsors, they like people in the front. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm in the middle pack. I may be faster than them if age graded,
Hmm.
but so sometimes we talk about this. I think they um, discriminated age,
Yeah.
discriminated sex, I think, because they don't seem to care about how fast the older people can run if they age graded.
Yeah.
I'm number one or number
That's
two. Or,
unfortunate, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is age graded. I
Yeah.
just did it over 100% when I did a half marathon. And then that's one thing. And another thing, if I have a sponsors, I think, I don't know if I would like it or not. We don't know yet, but you have to run what they want you to run, where you have to go, and what you have to wear.
Hmm.
But I'm just free. I go wherever I want to go. I'll talk to
Yeah.
my friend, hey, you want to go to Athens? Let's do it this year. You want to go, Cape Town? I did Cape Town already a few years ago before became
Okay.
talking about, major. I want you to go there, so I did. So I want to do, now I'm going to Cherry Blossom this year, and then I'm doing New York City half marathon. I do whatever I want to do. I
Okay.
pick my own. So I'm free, but I do get invited many races.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
got invited to Melbourne, Florida by a race
By the
director,
organizers.
Beach.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
he invited me to come run, and then, all the expenses, hotels, and all that. So, yes, I do get that here
Okay.
and there.
Okay.
Not always, but once
Okay.
in a while I get that. And I'm happy to do it when they invited.
Okay.
If I get invited, if I'm free, yes, I'll be
And
happy
they'll
to.
cover your expenses and your
Yes,
hotels,
they
everything for you.
cover the
Okay.
expenses and, yeah,
But you
airline.
bring your peanut butter and your banana for racing. No hotel breakfast for the morning of the race.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So you briefly told me before we started recording all your plans or what plans you have for racing in the coming months. So what's up for you in the next 12 months? What are you going for? What's
yeah.
your
Sure.
biggest goal?
Well, started out, I came down here November. Started out December, I went to Austin, Texas. There
Hmm.
was a USATF half marathon championship. And then January, I had a right here, Neighbors Half, which I've done
Okay.
in many, many years, and I still do because all my friends coming here usually come here from all over for this event.
Hmm.
And then February, I went to Melbourne, Florida. I was invited by Mitch from the race director, and that's half marathon. I already did four half marathon last 3 months, and then
Okay.
next I'm going to New York City. It's a United, the United airline, I guess, sponsor. I'm not
Okay.
invited, but I'm going with a bunch of
Okay.
friends, and I never get to do that because I'm always doing marathon. And either
Okay.
I do Tokyo or London or Boston in spring. So this year I decide to do some fun things. So I'm doing New York
Okay.
City half marathon in a couple weeks. And then 2 weeks after that, I'm going to Las Vegas for full marathon.
Okay.
And then 2 weeks later, I got too many marathons. I mean, not marathons, but too many travel to do. And then Cherry Blossom. You heard that. Washington, D.C., Cherry Blossom 10 mile. That's in April. Then
Okay.
May and June, I'm going to do another marathon. I haven't decided yet. Maybe
Okay.
Colorado, or I'm thinking. And then big event is in August. That's a world championship, masters championship. That's track and field and outdoor, half marathon,
Okay.
10K. That's in August. So I'll be there like 2, 3 weeks because
What
it's
events are you gonna do in the Masters World Championships?
right now. I did a swim, same thing. This is same. I did 800 meter, 3,000 meter, 5,000 meter, and 10K cross country and half marathon. I did a 6 event in
Okay.
Sweden. In
Okay.
Korea, it's going to be tough 6 event because one event is same day, happen to
Oh,
be.
okay.
So I have
Okay.
to
Okay.
discard one. So maybe 5 event, and I
Okay.
haven't
Okay.
registered yet, but definitely outdoor for 10K, half marathon, and cross country. That's for sure. And then track
Okay.
maybe two. So that's in
Okay.
August.
And
Going
that's
in,
your main one for this
yes,
year.
yeah,
Okay.
because it's a world championship. And
Okay.
then November, there's a Greece, Athens Marathon.
Marathon. Okay.
Mhm. And then December, not I haven't committed yet. That's CIM, California International
Okay.
Marathon. And my friends want me to go, come there. I have a lot of friends in California, so I
Okay.
haven't done that. So besides, there's a lot of 5K, 10K local when I go to
Okay.
fire. I haven't even, I do those, just jump in and do it.
For
And
fun,
then,
like your training run kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, that'll be
Okay.
speed work. Yeah, but those are like those, yeah. So I got a lot of travel to do, and, and a lot of
Yeah.
race up, on the plate. I'm all
Yeah. The
excited.
Athens Marathon is gonna be hot, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be. I heard it can be very hot, but
Okay.
even Tokyo last year, it was very hot. It went up to 70 degrees. They didn't expect
Okay.
it in March.
Okay.
So you never know. And I'm ready for any, you know.
Okay.
I always said, if it's hard for me, it's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to run your best time, maybe, but we're going to try to run our best anyway.
Yeah.
That's how think about races. Not that I'm going to like it, but I always have I don't get really worried about it at all. I don't get nervous, let's put it that way. It is what it is. It's going to be same for everybody.
I mean, if you're racing other people, then
Yeah,
everyone is going to be in the same thing. But if you're
that's
racing
right.
for a time, then maybe
Yeah.
that's where it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a bit more difficult. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Before we land the plane, my last question for you is: what does endurance mean to you?
Endurance?
Yeah, what does it mean to you?
I don't know. That's a tough question to answer. I don't know if I'm answering right or not. Jeannie Rice is gonna had to stand up for all the younger athletes out there. It doesn't have to be runner, but Jeannie Rice is a older, 77 years old, and still doing what is the best. So try to stay mentally, and anybody can do that. And you got to stay strong and just stay healthy and do what you like to do.
Where can people find you, follow you? Do you have a Facebook group that people can follow what you're doing? So, yeah, if you can tell us a bit about some social platforms that people can follow you
Yeah,
on.
I'm in Facebook, and I don't go Instagram much, but I know there's some people contact me through that, and Messenger, and a lot of people would ask me email, and which I do. I try to answer and contact them as much as I can. I get a lot of personal uh, questions. They ask me if I would help them, how I train, but training for me is not for everybody. And I
Mm,
always said, what how I train, it's not going to be fit you, because I do
mm,
get a lot of old. I'm in older means 60, and older age group will text me or ask my advice, and I can't answer too much that, but I try to tell them, stay focused, set the goal, what you like, what you want to do, and stay healthy, and just discipline. You discipline
yeah,
yourself and then follow that, and don't do what I do. I don't want them to go out and run 50, 70 miles a week, out of
yeah,
sun, and what I do, and they will get hurt unless they
yeah,
build up for that point.
correct.
And I don't really advise or recommend people 70, 80 years old to do that many miles. I know I do a lot of
Hmm.
miles, but I've been used to it.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for 43 years. I haven't changed, but
yeah.
I should change. I should cut down a little bit. Yeah, I am going to. I kept saying, yeah, I'm going to cut down, but my gosh, I'm already 70 miles this week. No, I got to cut down. So
Okay.
I am watching my, mileage.
Yeah,
So yeah,
okay. And your Facebook is
yeah.
just Jeannie Rice, right? If you want to
Yeah.
follow you
Hmm.
and okay,
Yeah. I
okay,
get a lot, I have so many. When I get up, if, early in the morning, sometimes that's what
yeah,
I check I try to look at everybody's, whoever texts me, whoever
yeah.
want a question, and then I try to answer as
Or your
much as,
fans.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got to tell you real quick, uh,
yeah.
um, cute young lady. She's from Sweden, right? This
Okay,
young lady. She interviewed me a couple months ago. So it's going to be Runner's World in Sweden going out in maybe next week or something.
okay,
Couple 3 weeks ago, she texted me from Miami. She said, "Jeannie,
okay,
I'd love to meet you in person." So make a long story short, she drove 2.5 hours to
okay,
Naples, and I had a lunch with her, and then she
okay,
went back. And to
okay.
me, those things just, I told her, you just made my day. You just made
Yeah.
my year. I mean, so sweet. And things like that, I'm just blessed. I'm so lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
People are
But you
like,
also inspire. You're such an inspiration.
thank you.
Jeannie, thank you so much for spending an hour with us and sharing your story and shining some light into what's possible as people get into their 60s and 70s and
Mm,
continuing to inspire us of your
mm.
motivation, your determination, your discipline. It's amazing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me and hope to meet you someday.